Okay. Before we move to before we actually implement uh, constructor for the cash register, let's let's just briefly talk about the structure of the cash register, the class cash register. So first, let me just write a class cash register, right? Class. We have a class, and okay, so we have a class. We have a class cash register. Right? You know that this class, you know that you can think this class as a type, right? But it's actually it's a complex type. It's not like an integer. It's not like a float. It's not like a boolean, the true or false. This class you can think as a little bit more like a complex type because it has what? Because it has attributes, and then attribute you can think as a property. Properties of this class, and then it has a behavior section. The behavior of this cash register class, right? And from this class we can create an object, right? So first we need to define a type. We need to define the template. So you can think that as a template. So from the template, from the type, we can create an object of this particular type cash register. Now, let's it could be many different attributes for this class register, but let's just think of two properties, the characteristics. The first, I'll say item count. So basically this is what? A number of items purchased, right? And then typically for the attribute in Python they use underscore, so item count. And then if you look at the actual code, there is another so if you look at if you look at the code, look at another, there they use a total price. They use a total price as another attribute. So we have a total price underscore total price. So this is what this attribute, the total price, is the attribute. Basically, it means the total, the price of item purchased so far. So that's like a total price, right? And this, when it comes to actual implementations, right? So this is called what? This is called this item count and underscore total price. This is called what? Instance variable, right? So when object of class cash register is created, the first method it will call is a constructor. So we're gonna in next lecture we're gonna actually implement the constructor. So when the constructor is invoked, the main job of the constructor is to initialize the item count and total price. Basically initialize instance variables. So that's the main job of the constructor. But now let's just list a couple of the method, right? So basically this behavior of this class cash register is implemented by the method, right? So method is really nothing but a functions. Oops. It's nothing but a functions, right? Now, I think in this, I'm going to probably implement a couple of and one of them is add item method, and another one is called get total, and another method is called get the count, right? So this method is going to be called whenever the item is added, and then get total means returns the total of the total price of the item purchased, and then get count, this method, this function will return number of items purchased, right? So basically this is the basic structure of the class register, and in the next lecture we are going to implement a constructor and to initialize this instance variable. Thank you. So let me end my lecture here.